Today I'm working with this hood and trying to get it just the last little bit. You know, that 1/8 of an inch will kill you sometimes, so. But, you know, you gotta fight for it if you're going for an upper echelon car. Now, I'm gonna let this sit for just a bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding back here. Now, all of these areas here that are money shot that you can see, we want to use block sanders on that 99% of the time. The only time I'm using the jitterbug on it is that last 320, and that's again just to give you a different plane and to oscillate the scratches in there, so that if you have any rogue scratches going off like that, that they'll one, be seen, and two, if they're not seen, then hopefully that oscillation effect on the top will blend them in better. But areas like this where you can't really see it with the bed right here and everything, it's lightly visible, but it's not by much. So just in areas like that there, I'll just jitterbug it 150, 220, 320 and be done with it, and that's it. Maybe I'll fix some major ding or something like that, but that not too much trouble in the back here. Right here though, I'll pretty much block sand all of this right here. It's just from here on over to the same place that we jitterbug. On the hood right here, there is a little bit of a metal edge right here in manufacturing, and so all I'm going to do is just clean that edge up there, and then I'm going to go around and I'm going to clean up all the edges and little things I don't like I told you yesterday. Ready to primer up the hood. So what we did is we use a 320 scratch pad and we scratch up everything. What you want to do is get all your nooks and crannies first, because if you do all your large open areas, the nooks and crannies will get lost. And you have to pay extra careful attention to the nooks and crannies, because if you don't have a scratch, the chances of your primer sticking is a lot worse. We're going to shoot an epoxy primer on here first. I'll just do a light fall coat. Then I'll put on the PCL filler primer. We'll put a couple of coats on there, and then we'll put it on tomorrow for a final little lineup. and sand the rest of that shit down. So remember, no scratch, no stick. The first coat of epoxy primer on there will just be a fog coat, and then we're also using a dust bunny rag here to try to catch any little dust that might be floating around. I want to get this on there so we don't get any imperfections in there. Okay, so why do we do the fog coat? Because if you were just to shoot one coat on there, and for some reason it didn't stick, you didn't give enough time for the wax and grease to vapor off, it was cold, whatever. This way we're just shooting like a half coat on there. Hopefully that half will stick, and if it doesn't, this next coat we have will stick. So that's all we're doing, is we're getting spots of it here, and then we'll get the rest of the spots. So it's kind of like we got a double cover thing going on. So we let it sit for about 10 minutes. Then I'm going to shoot a nice medium coat on there, thick coat, and we're shooting all of our nooks and crannies first. Same reason as always. If you shoot the mass, then your nooks and crannies get lost. So you do all your nooks and crannies first, then we go ahead and hit the mass. You gotta let it sit for 10 minutes on the first fog coat. Then we need to let it sit for at least 15 minutes before we put the poly primer on top. Alright, so our hood is pretty much all set up and everything. So we took it off, we prepped it all up, and we've got it primered up looking nice. So tomorrow what I'm going to do is put it back on, and then I'll make sure that the cowl and the hood and all this area blends together properly. So this here is basically all set up sanded wise, but I'm just waiting on my sides because I have to have my hood on here in order to double check all of my lining up and everything like this. So, mananas, hasta la vistas, babies.